Hey everyone, in this video we're going to use either StatCrunch or Excel to calculate the mean, variance, and standard deviation of a probability distribution. We'll use this problem here as an example. So we're given the number of defects per 1,000 machine parts inspected. So number of defects ranges from 0 to 5, and the probabilities actually, it doesn't matter what they range from, but the point is they add up to 1. That's what makes it a probability distribution. I'm going to go ahead and open this in StatCrunch to start doing the calculations we want. So it's going to import all the number of defects and the probabilities. Sometimes it might just say x and p of x, or sometimes it might specify what they are. As long as it brings in the values, that's all that really matters. And I'm going to go ahead and go to Stat, Calculators, Custom. I just need to select the event first, and in this case the event is defects. Sometimes it'll just be plain old x, and then the weights is the probability, or sometimes it might say p of x. Once I have those selected, I'm just going to do compute, and it's going to give me right here my mean and my standard deviation. This tool down here allows us to do some calculations. What is the probability of having, in this case, defects 1 or less? We'll cover that in another video, I think. But for now, let's look at what the mean is. And we have a mean of 1.459, where they want us to round to 1 decimal place. So we're going to get 1.5. The next thing they ask for is the variance, which they didn't actually give us. They just gave us the standard deviation. But if you remember, the standard deviation and variance are closely related because the standard deviation is the square root of the variance. So I can reverse that and I can square the standard deviation to get the variance. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to grab a regular calculator, type in to the best of my ability 4, 2, 3, 4, type in the standard deviation, square it, and here is my variance. It looks like 1.5 if I round it to 1 decimal place. And then they want the standard deviation, which StatCrunch does give me, 1.2. 1.2. All right. Let's say that you are not a fan of StatCrunch, or you just feel like being bold and using Excel. Let's do that. You're going to do open Excel, and it's going to give you, it's going to download a file. Go ahead and open up that file. It may take a minute or two, depending on, actually, that wasn't too bad. That didn't take as long as I thought. When it opens, hit enable editing. Hello. And I'm going to label for myself what we're looking for. Mean, variance, standard. Actually, I'll just do, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to for us. So remember to find the mean of a probability distribution. You multiply each event by its probability, and then you add them all up. Excel has a built-in formula called sum product, which is exactly what we're doing. We're finding the sum of products. What I'm going to do is type in equals sum product, open parentheses, click drag to select the first column, the events, in this case defects, put a comma, and then click drag, let go, select the second one, close parentheses, enter, and there's my mean. Variance is a little bit different. Remember, to do the variance, you got to take each data value, subtract the mean, square that, then sum it, then multiply it by the probabilities. But thankfully, we can start by using the sum product again. We just have to tweak it a bit. We're going to do two, make sure there are 2 opening parentheses, because we need to start by taking each of the data values. So I'm going to click and drag and select all of the defects in this case, and then subtract the mean, which I already calculated. So I'm going to click on the box with the mean. I'm going to close a parenthesis. I'm going to do Shift 6 to get the caret. Put in a 2 because I'm squaring it. And then I'm multiplying, or I can do Shift 8 by each probability. So click and drag and select those. Close parentheses, enter, and there's my variance. To do standard deviation, I'm just going to do equals SQRT for square root. And since the variance is the square of the standard deviation, or the standard deviation is the square root of the variance, all I have to do is click on the variance number, close parentheses, enter, And there it is. I believe these match up just perfectly with what we had in StatCrunch. So there's our mean rounded is 1.5, variance rounded is 1.5, and standard deviation is 1.2. So whether you want to use Excel or StatCrunch, this is a great way to calculate the mean, variance, standard deviation of a probability distribution.